Greetings. Today I'm just going to keep working on my Santa. I think that the most important thing is to just, be diligent. I'm going to be cleaning it up around the edges and around all the details, but I'm also going to be trying to lay down interesting brush strokes and work on the harmony overall throughout the piece, play with some of the lighting effects, and just try to really bring this piece to a finish. More polished state. It's going to be slow and kind of boring, but this is the part of the process that I enjoy the most. It's the part that I really have the most fun with, because I love colors and I love painting, and so sit back, relax, and enjoy the Santa Acts piece. The theme for this piece, if I didn't mention it before, was like Santa is like what happens the rest of the year, when Santa's not delivering the presents. He's actually protecting your presents from demons trying to steal them, while the elves are busy making the presents. Then Santa is guarding your presents with his barbarian style axe, and he is like getting rid of all the present thieves that are trying to rob the children's Christmas. So he's out there protecting our presents, while we're just going about our business throughout the year, and then Christmas comes around and he delivers them. So it's sort of like a play on that. That's the basic idea or concept, but relax and enjoy the painting process. So when I'm at this stage, I tend to just pick at the illustration and slowly, and I just feel like I'm at that stopping point where I abandon the piece because I'm not really adding anything to it. I'm just kind of slowly picking at little areas here and there, and that sometimes that takes time. Sometimes I like to spend time doing that. I just want to like finish this piece, but there's still a few little things here and there that sometimes what I do is I leave it open on my desk and I go step away for a minute, and then I come back and I'll notice something and I'll fix it, and then I'll step away again, and then I'll come back and then I'll fix it. And I'll do that for a little bit, maybe a day or two of doing that, and then I'll finally be done. And then sometimes I just abandon the piece completely because, you know, I have to end it at some point. You can't keep picking at it over and over again or you'll drive yourself crazy. So I just end it. And that's basically where I'm at now with this piece. I just feel like ending it. You know, if I was to do it over again, of course I would do some things differently, but overall I'm satisfied with where it is, and I think this is a good place to stop. I hope you've enjoyed, you know, taking this journey with me, seeing how I construct a piece, how I can take a rough sketch to a finished painting. And, you know, I hope that you've learned something from watching me do this. And thank you very much for joining me. Hello. So I'm cutting back in here at the end of the video because I wanted to explain kind of where I ended up with this piece. I continued to work on it afterwards and just brought it to a little bit more of a polish. This is something I typically do when I'm working. When I come to the end of a piece, when I'm starting new projects and beginning to work on another project, I'll go back and look at my old work that I just finished, and I'll find little errors or mistakes, and I'll make little changes. This is typical of my work because, you know, sometimes you're staring at a piece so long that you neglect little things or you forget little things because your eyes just don't see it anymore. And that's why it's good to step away and take a break and then come back to it. And then you'll notice, you know, different things in the piece that you maybe forgot to do. For example, if you look at this piece now where it stands, you'll notice that I added a lot of blue in the shadows, in the shadow areas, and a lot more kind of orange light flowing in from the background. And I downplayed the snow a lot. If you see here in the snow area, it really looks like it's kind of melted snow, and it just matches the background better. I thought, you know, if it was snowing too heavily, it wouldn't really fit the cloud pattern that's in the background currently. So I think it's like the snowstorm has just passed and the sun has come out again and, you know, sort of melted the snow a little bit. And I think the warmer light and the cooler shadows works well. It works better in this piece to bring the character to life more and the objects look more realistic. And so I did that. And I also just want to you know, show that I'm still going over this axe here. You see, you click on and off little details I'm putting in. It looks like the blade has kind of been sharpened for years right here. And then I had to downplay the shadow on Santa's face a little bit here, because the shadow was too dark and it didn't look realistic, so I kind of lightened that a bit. And these are some tweaks I made to the, adding edges. So a lot of times edges are really important in painting. You'll notice that that's a mistake right there I gotta fix. So this was something I did with the blur tool, and now look at it. When I added the levels over top, it showed up like this. So sometimes that happens with Photoshop, but I can fix it, and then I can take the blur tool now and see if I go like that. You see what happens? So I can turn that off and then try it. Looks like I just add a little blur here, like this crow is moving through space a little bit, and then maybe clean up this edge. I don't want to get too like overly nitpicky with it, because I want to move on to other things, and some little some little happy accidents, I guess you could say, like happen here or there, and you don't want to really plan for that kind of stuff, but you don't want to erase it either, because I kind of like things like that. But so that's better. And so if you'll see, so where was I? So yeah, I was dealing with edges. So to make Santa look like he's fitting into the space more, I blur the edges here around the background, and it because when you're that's an oil painting technique. Like when I'm oil painting, I typically will have the background paint will be wet when you're painting alla prima, and this paint will be wet, and those two paints where they meet right here will kind of blur and mix, and it will make the object look like it's sitting in the space more realistically. So you kind of mimic that with digital painting, adding some edges around, and then also working on this background a little bit more. I didn't want to see how I kind of added this color here, and just very carefully tried to blend in more, making this look more realistic, but I didn't want to get too involved in it. And then you can also see I added the cool colors to the shadow areas. If I flip this on and off, you'll see that. And then I added the warm colors to the light areas, because this sunset behind Santa is casting a warm light over everything. So I wanted to make sure that all the crows and the tops of the boxes here and the front of Santa here and this axe all has a warm hue to it. And then I added this texture over it. You can't really see, but if I zoom in really close and I flip it on and off, you'll see that texture. And that's just it's just one of these brushes here that I have, like a splatter brush or something, and then I just run it over the top, and then I put it on overlay at 1%, and this one's on multiply at 5%. So you can do that, and that just gives it a little more tooth, like there's some tooth behind it, like some paper, like Arches 150 pound cold press watercolor paper, or 300 pound cold press watercolor paper, or something like that. It just gives it a little tooth, and I think that looks good. And then the last thing I did was add my signature, and that's it. I'm wrapping up this piece. So thanks for joining me on this process. I'm happy to share it with everyone. And stay tuned. I'm going to continue to record my artistic process and put it on this channel from time to time, just to share, and also to keep a record of it for myself, and so I can analyze and try to get better at painting, because I'm always trying to improve. So thank you very much, and join me next time. Bye.